Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Deus Ex Human Revolution Blind. Now, I'm here to investigate the leads that Pritchard has on that secure channel that Sarif opened without telling us. And apparently there's like a destroyed apartment with somebody presumably being killed.
Your shoes off? I just had the floors waxed. And if you wouldn't mind tidying up a little.
If you don't shut up, I'm gonna put another bullet in you.
Yeah, real tough guy. 5-on-1 and you still had to shoot me. Piece of shit.
Just hope they find what we're looking for your sake.
They won't, because I gave them the wrong code. Yeah, that's right. Asshole. What now, tough guy? You gonna shoot me? Again?
We have ways of getting around security. How do you think we got into this shithole?
First, you break in, shoot me in the gut, tear the place up, and now you insult my digs? That's cold, man.
But please shut up.
And you better plan on replacing my rug. That one really tied the room together.
So apparently there's somebody dying on the floor. I'm not sure if this person is going to be hostile to me, but I definitely
I've got you.
assume so. Okay, let's check on the dying person then.
Put that away, unless you're gonna finish me off.
Sorry, so sorry about that.
Jensen? Oh, Christ.
Brent Raddford?
In the flesh. For now.
How do you know my name? What happened here?
Answers for favors. There's a trauma kit I keep somewhere around here. Find it.
You need a doctor. I'll get help.
No time. They could be back any minute. Find the kit quickly if you want answers.
Sure.
I'll be back.
I'm not going to persuade me to tell me the info without healing him first, because he might actually die in the meantime. Not to mention, it's kind of a dick move, really. I hope he doesn't... Okay.
Did you find the kit? Oh, sweet Jesus, the pain. Morphine.
Yeah, apply the morphine.
This should help with the pain. Now tell me what's going on.
Those sons of bitches. I should have seen it coming. I knew from the moment Sarif got spooked that this case would come back and bite me in the ass.
Sarif. So you're the investigator he hired to run a background check on me?
Detective. Or I was, until... Christ, fuck it. It hurts enough just trying to breathe. Point is, the goons that did this to me, professionals. I think your boss pissed off the wrong people, trying to dig up your dirt.
What people? What did you find?
No time to go into details. My storage unit, the sons of bitches. They're headed there now. Sarif had me uncover a ton of shit on you. Stuff even you don't know. Your parents, your real parents. The tests, the fire. What are you, Jensen? Some kind of freak?
Focus, Raddford.
I mothballed the case in storage. It's in an alley. Behind the bank. Your files are there. But Michelle knows more. You need to stop them.
Can I help him?
Fuck. You robot. This is all your fault. Give me another shot. Morphine. Or go fuck yourself.
I would like to straight up heal him, like, apply some actual medicine to him instead of just painkillers.
Focus, Raddford.
That hit the spot. I think I could get used to this stuff. Hey, I'm feeling a little more talkative. Already. Robot.
Because obviously, the morphine by itself is not going to save his life. He's still bleeding out, he just doesn't feel it. I don't care about the reward. To be honest, it seems a little bit cruel to investigate him, interrogate him when he's in such a state, but I don't have an option of straight up healing him, so I guess...
You mentioned someone named Michelle. Who's Michelle?
Your guardian angel.
Who is she?
Tell me, do robots even believe in angels? Or did they take that out of you? Did they take that away? You know, your soul, when they built you? Tell me, what was it like when you died, Jensen?
I know you're in a lot of pain, and the morphine is...
Just find her before they do. You owe her that much.
Who did this to you?
Guys in suits. One of them, David or Daniel, something like that, British accent. He was in charge. Talked about a Mr. Gray. They were in a hurry. 4 of them. Not counting the one they left behind. Well-armed, disciplined. I didn't stand a chance. Maybe that metal corpse you call a body will do better than mine did.
What were they looking for?
You, robot. They wanted my information on you. Someone powerful has their eyes on you and is very interested in your past.
Why did Seurat stop the investigation? You said he was spooked. What spooked him?
You wouldn't believe me even if I told you. Hell, even I don't. I still don't believe it. You believe in ghosts, Jensen?
Seurat was spooked by ghosts.
Close enough. Illuminati. Conspiracies, theories, it's all bullshit. But you stink of it, Jensen. Enough to have your boss, one of the most powerful men in the world, look away. You're a ghost. A fucking tragedy. Everything you touch, everything that touches you, dies.
Okay, I'm a little annoyed that I can't actually help him.
I'm leaving, but I'll call in an ambulance. I'll be okay.
No. Those fucking animals. I can't move anything. I was turning around, pulling my gun when the first bullet hit me. The second one, they fucking paralyzed me.
I'm sure it's not as bad as you think. It might be a reaction to the morphine.
I know what morphine does. I also know what a 9mm round fired at less than 10 meters does to the thoracic vertebrae on impact.
You need a doctor. They can fix that.
I ain't turning into no freak. Even if I could afford the surgery, the augments, I'd rather die than be half a machine. And I sure as hell ain't gonna live the rest of my life in a wheelchair, shitting in a goddamn diaper.
Raddford.
Listen, I know there's still a few more morphine shots. Another 2 should do the trick. Please, this is as close as I'm gonna get to begging you. Don't leave me like this. You owe me that much.
That's a very difficult situation because I don't think he's rational at all. Like, I understand him not wanting to be disabled, but in the universe presented, he has pretty good options of being fully, self-reliant and fully capable with the use of augmentations, and I really feel like he isn't, his position isn't a rational one, and it's somewhat akin to like someone who tries to commit suicide. And there are people who believe that we shouldn't help people that are trying to kill themselves because it's their choice, but it's a very difficult question for me, because more often than not, people that attempt suicide are not in the right state of mind, and they wouldn't do that in the first place if they felt better. And a lot of people that attempt suicide and fail, afterwards never try again, and they actually regret it, and regret, they wouldn't want to actually die, they just wanted the pain to stop. So, and in this situation, I kind of feel like letting him die, or actually directly killing him, in fact, because it would be akin to euthanizing him, would be kind of a waste. And I think he could be maybe persuaded to give the augmentations a try. But on the other hand, I do respect his choice. I do respect, like in general, I do respect the people, like the choice that people have when choosing their own death. And I am, in fact, in favor of legalizing euthanasia. But it's just, a little bit more nuanced, I think. So I'll try to talk with him and maybe convince him that it's a good idea to maybe at least consider the augmentations instead of straight up killing himself.
Why do you hate augmentation so much?
Because it ain't right. You can't go changing the way things are. You can't replace the real thing with an imitation. It ain't right. It ain't natural.
It can save your life.
No, you lose more than what gets left behind on the chopping block. You should know this by now.
Okay, that is a really stupid line of thinking. It's actually something that's well known in philosophy and rhetoric. It's called the natural error, which is assuming that that things that are natural are automatically moral, and by extension, things that are unnatural are automatically immoral. But it quickly falls apart when you think about it, because most of, like, pretty much all human technology is unnatural, and things like, well, technically, like murder is natural, because it's something that animals kill each other all the time, and then eat their corpses. Animals technically, I guess, rape each other also, so that's also natural. And things like medicine, modern housing, cars, those are all technically unnatural. They don't exist outside of human society. So it can't be reduced to such a simple equation, and that's really, like, that's a doubly stupid perspective to take from someone that has just been shot with a gun, was clearly defending himself with a gun earlier, lives in a modern apartment inside of a big metropolis. Like, if he was an anarcho-primitivist living inside like a wooden hut in a forest, then at least I could see him being sort of consistent. But this is just stupid. This is actually not true either, I believe. I believe there are animals other than humans that kill themselves. And even if not, I do believe, it's still irrelevant. Although I guess this option isn't meant to convey that Jensen himself believes this. He just uses the guy's own logic against him. He tries to convince him that suicide isn't natural because Raddford himself seems to think that whatever is unnatural is bad. But I do understand him. I just don't agree with him. I think he's silly in his approach, and probably he's also not thinking clearly because of the morphine. Morphine is a really strong drug, and it can interfere with your, cognition process. But I think out of the two, I'll choose this and hope it's not going to further convince him that it's a good idea, because just because I understand doesn't mean that I agree with him.
I understand. But technology, it's different now. It can help you. You could still live a normal life.
A normal life? What would you know about a normal life? Did technology really help you, Jensen? I think it made you a monster. Seurat didn't give you your life back. He just made you better at taking it away from others.
Why do you hate augmentation so?
Because it ain't.
It can.
No.
Okay, so this repeats.
A normal.
Well, I guess I could use the pheromones, but that seems kind of dirty, because that would be basically coercing him. And even though I totally don't agree with him, I think he's stupid, I still feel like forcing him to get the augmentations pretty much against his will by using the pheromone augmentation in the first place against him is a very dirty tactic, and it doesn't feel right. Like, neither does killing him, to be honest, but I guess in the end it is his choice. Like, there are a lot of people that make choices that they don't agree with and that I think are stupid, but that doesn't deprive them of the right to make those choices, as long as they don't hurt other people while doing that. So I'm definitely not going to let him bleed out slowly, because that's kind of cruel. So I guess if he really wants it, then that's his choice, even though I think it's dumb.
Is this what you really want?
There's a bear? Pope in the woods? Shit. I fucked that one up. Listen, robot, if I could do it myself, I would. I got no family left, no one left to mourn. It's for the best. I ain't gonna be no burden on society.
Last chance, Brent.
Just fucking do it.
Okay, this will just repeat. Well, rest in peace then, I guess. Although I think it's a colossal waste, but again, like, it is a very interesting debate, as I said, because you have to weigh different points, and you have to try to draw a line at which you consider one not really cognizant enough of their situation to make coherent decisions. You know, people that are, for example, as I mentioned, people that try to commit suicide are often having, mental issues that affect the way they think, and like a complete, as I said, there are people that think that we shouldn't ever interfere with people trying to kill themselves, but I think it's an awfully short-sighted extreme in the other direction. But this guy, he seems sane enough. He has some kind of a logic behind his actions. I just think it's a stupid logic that doesn't make sense, but I could say that about a lot of beliefs. So, as I said, I could force him to take the augmentations, but in the end he would just end up hating himself. So, well, rest in peace, I guess.
It'll be quick.
I know. You did a good thing. Here.
The ones that did this. I'll find them.
Look at you. An iron giant with a heart of gold. But don't do it for me. Do it for her. For Michelle. You owe her life.
I'm not at all convinced I did a good thing here, but it was definitely interesting. It brought up some interesting questions. What's probably not that ethically complex is robbing his apartment right after I euthanized him, but well, he won't need it anymore, and but there isn't anything here, it seems, anyway. I was hoping for like a computer that would get me. I'll take this and sell it later. Faucet. Okay, let's read the his pocket secretary. Storage unit, renewal payment. So it's in an alley behind a bank. I do seem to remember there is a bank on one of the streets, but I don't remember which one. But apparently it's not very far from here. Now, I also kind of just realized last time when I was thinking about it that since finishing the freaking tutorial, I haven't used the cover system in a proper way, and I'm not really sure why. Oh wait, there's like I can destroy this wall, but let me wait a little. I'm not really sure why. It's not that I forgot it existed, I just don't quite like it, and I feel it isn't as useful in my playstyle because you can't, as you can see, you can't effectively use the tranquilizer rifle firing from the hip because it doesn't have true iron sights, it only has the scope. Well, I guess you could use it sort of like this. And obviously the taser requires you to be next to somebody anyway. So I just find it not that useful, although I guess it is useful for peeking around corners, which is definitely a function I was sort of missing a little. I was doing something like this, you know, peering, strafing just very slowly, which I understand is a lot less efficient than just doing this. So yeah, I don't really have anything to defend myself with. I guess I'm just weird, because as I said, it's not that I forgot that the cover system existed, I just don't really like using it. Maybe that's also because of the perspective change. I get so used to the first person that it just feels weird for me to suddenly switch into third person while using cover. I'm not sure if I'll use it more now that I have realized it. Probably I should, at least for looking around corners, but I guess that remains to be seen. Now, apparently there's like a weak wall over here that I can destroy using my new augmentation. I hope that it's not going to hurt anyone. So I just straight up broke into somebody's apartment. I think I was here before. The guns laying on the ground would betray that. I'll take some of them to sell. Now that I have the upgraded inventory. Okay, I can't exactly fit that. So overall, I guess destroying that wall was pointless, but I think this is actually the apartment building where Seurat lives. So if that's true, then it should it should allow me to sell those things now, and with a discount no less. So that would be definitely convenient. Yeah.
This is what I got.
I'm a friend of Greg Thorpe.
Really? Okay, I give you the egghead discount.
It's weird for him to repeat that. Okay, so I'll sell this. And this. And the ammo. I guess that's all. I will also see if he has anything interesting to sell. Some upgrades. Rate of fire. But would that work with rifles? Most rifles. It doesn't say here for sure that it would work with the tranquilizer rifle. Okay, well, I'm definitely buying those.
Okay, that's it.
It is indeed it. Okay, so I guess I'm done here. And I can exit the building and go looking for that stash.
Pritchard, I located Raddford. He was attacked by men in suits. Private security, Secret Service types. I'm going after them.
What about Raddford? Did you get anything out of him?
He didn't make it. There was nothing I could do.
Right, I'll call it in. You have a new lead, at least?
Yeah, I'm on my way there now. I'll contact you when I have more.
Okay, so I guess that was the Icarus landing system in action. Now, it has dawned on me that it's literally like an instance of Deus Ex Machina, and I mean that in its original theatrical sense, not in its modern literary sense as a trope, because originally the term Deus Ex Machina origins from Greek theater, where it was called, I think, mechane atheos or something like that. It's basically, a Greek version of the Latin saying Deus Ex Machina, which means God from the machine, and it was referring to the practice of using an actual crane to lower the actors that were playing gods from like a higher plane onto the stage to sort of simulate them coming down from the heaven or Olympus or whatever. And in a sense, it's something that the Icarus landing system seems to somewhat resemble that, Jensen is slowly falling from up high, and then, he's descending onto the earth in this very majestic and impressive way. And of course it also ties into the actual title of the game and the overall theme of augmentation, which might be understood as an attempt by humanity to literally make gods out of themselves.
Mr. Gray landing tonight. We're working on it, yeah. Listen, believe me, we tried. The old man proved resilient. We left someone behind to watch him. If we need, we can go back, but I'm not sure how much more he can take. That's why we need Smith.
Okay, so there are 3 of them.
We tried that already. Look, he can't get the safe open. That's why if you could, send Smith down. Right. Thank you, sir. Now we'll contact you as soon as we have the information.
I could take the two of them that are close by with one takedown.
I saw that. This isn't a game.
Well, that didn't really work. I guess I might combine that with the cloak.
What's that?
Okay. I'll take their weapons to sell. Especially because I'm pretty close to getting to 5,000 credits again. That would let me afford. Wait, is that guy friendly or does he just not care? Can talk with him. Okay, that was definitely weird. Like, he should have seen me. I mean, not seen me, but heard me. I was literally like fighting quite audibly out here, and he was here. That's what, 10 meters or something? I think I lost this guy's weapon somewhere. Not that it matters that much. Okay, first let's read the pocket secretary, because probably it holds like a password to Mr. Gray's travel itinerary. Prague. Now apparently there has been some convention on augmentation in Prague. I'm not sure why Prague in particular. The Czech Republic isn't that important of a player, even in Central Europe, not to mention the world. So I'm interested to learn more about that, you know, what exact actions and events in the Deus Ex universe caused the Czech Republic to become important, because maybe they have like some unique laws or some unique approach. Okay, that's actually not new at all. I already read all of those. Not sure why it says new. I guess maybe it classifies as new as long as I don't view it through the actual menu, because I usually read all of them as soon as I get them. Like I click tab when the prompt is given. Okay, let's hack this.
Access granted.
Jensen's psychological evaluation. Okay, so interesting. That's the email I've already read, but I've read it because Sarif gave the copy to me, so basically I read it from the other end, which makes that conversation a little less relevant and impressive, because it seems I would have gotten the same info anyway, just a little bit later. Although maybe not, because to be honest, this side quest only happened because I've learned about the secure channel that Sarif opened in the first place, and to do that I had to convince him using that during that conversation. Okay, I read that as well from Sarif's end, so I guess they are all repeated. They were just sent from this computer. Yeah, this is about Jensen's parents, or at least, or actually adoptive parents, because probability of parentage 0. Yeah, I've read all of those apart from this, I guess. Michelle, that's the woman that that Raddford mentioned. A good friend with the Jensens, living in Brooklyn Court in Detroit. That's actually where I was, right? That gated community behind a fence. She's senile. Nice. Okay, so I guess I'll go and try and talk with her anyway. Maybe I'll learn something new, but first let's check this. Maybe there are some more evidence in here. I think I lost it anyway. Yeah, that's a colossal waste of resource. Oh freak, don't tell me I'm going to lose it.
Access denied.
And now I have to wait like a bajillion seconds for that to restart. Yeah, I just lost like 3 of those viruses for nothing. I know it wasn't an efficient way of doing that, but I just didn't want to have to wait for the restart. But now I not only lost them, I have to wait for the restart anyway, so it's a little bit pointless and annoying. On the other hand, I do have enough credits to afford the other Praxis kit now. So I guess after talking with that Michelle woman, I will go by the Praxis clinic. I mean by the limb clinic. Okay, at least I can maybe use some of those. Yeah, what the hell, actually.
Access granted.
Hopefully there's something worthwhile in this safe. I guess those are like Jensen's childhood photos. Okay, the guy is dead. He's not going to need the money. White Helix Lab has been mentioned a couple of times in the emails already. Some people died. Circumstances are very suspicious. Oh, a subsidiary of VersaLife studying childhood genetic diseases. Okay, so I think I was actually right. Like, I totally called that like 20 episodes ago, when I was reading about Jensen being adopted in the Limb Clinic files, because then I assumed that, much as most of the other Deus Ex protagonists so far, or in fact all of them, because that covers both JC Denton and Alex from the Invisible War, were experimented upon as children, and I suppose that's what caused Jensen's unique affinity for cyber augmentation. After all, VersaLife is mostly, dealing with that, so it totally falls within their portfolio. I guess talking with the woman will probably confirm that. But where is... Wait. I guess this is recognized as an official road on the map. And the apartment... Oh wait, that's still... Did I miss something here? I don't think I can interact with the photos themselves. What's my objective? Do I have something left? Michelle Walters. After I finish searching. Yeah, but I think I did finish searching it. So did it just not change my objective? Because it doesn't tell me her apartment number or anything like that. So... living in Detroit on Brooklyn Court. So it'll be a little bit annoying trying to find her without an exact place to look. But I guess that's my only choice. So I have to go back here, because the Brooklyn Court is the area like behind the fence and the gate. That's where O'Malley had his apartment as well. So I guess I'll just search that building.
I've seen the footage, but that shit could be doctored easily. These people are probably freaking out for nothing.
Yeah, but what if it's true, man? An army of cog soldiers? Detroit will be a police state in no time. Nazism, man, right here in the US of A.
Stop jumping to conclusions. Don't be a sheep like the rest of this mob. Goaded on by Taggart and his purist cult.
They ain't a cult, man. They just believe in preserving what God gave us.
Apparently they don't care about causing millions of dollars in damage to the city. Bunch of opportunists, if you ask me.
To be honest, I'm kind of weary at this point of the mostly simplistic rhetoric this game uses when talking about augmentations, because the most interesting angle in which you can lead that debate, to me, is... wait, I'm a little bit lost, actually. But the most interesting angle to me is, the conflict between rich and poor, and the conflict between the abilities that augmentation give you and the advantage they give you on the job market, and the fact that most of the poor people can afford it at first, so they are outclassed, and they can't compete, and the gap widens and widens up to a point where if you're not augmented, you can barely even find work. And if you can't find work, then you can't earn the money needed to augment yourself, and it's sort of like a a vicious cycle of poverty and whatever. So that is like the most sensible argument against it to me. Not that it fully makes sense, for reasons I will maybe elaborate upon at some other point, but this game instead seems to mostly focus on like almost like theological arguments against it, the purity of the human form and whatever crap like that. And it doesn't, like, it's just silly to me. I do recognize that there are people who think like that, so I guess it isn't unrealistic. I just think it's not very interesting. I guess it will be interesting to talk more with Taggart and see his sort of extended point of view at some point. After all, I am going to meet him. In fact, my actual main objective is to go and meet him currently. Okay, can't knock. Well, I will check it, just because I think this is the right building. Okay, I think this is going to fail. Yeah, break. I maybe break a breaking somebody's wall just to talk to them is a like a hilariously dick move. Like it's so much a dick move that it actually moves right into the realm of ridiculousness. I guess this is the only apartment left in the whole building that I haven't investigated. So it probably is here, right? I can't knock on the door or anything. Okay, I will use a couple of those nukes, just because I have plenty of those.
Access granted.
Anyone here? Oh, I guess this is like a back alley illegal augmentation clinic or something like that.
If you're just tuning in, we're asking questions and raising truth as per usual.
We're talking about consequence here, parents. Go ahead, plop your kids in front of the TV. Let them watch Picus, or let them get lost in their video games. Yeah, they'll be safe in their little virtual world. Don't worry, kids. Nobody can hurt you in a video game. Focus on that little fantasy universe, because let me tell you something. You won't want to come out of your virtual cell and see the real world in a couple of years. Nah, it won't be pretty. You'll still be slaves like the rest of us, but at least you'll be oblivious. Bunch of mindless zombies is what you are. I almost envy you. Fucking sad is what it is.
So just ranting about video games. Well, I guess while I'm here, I might just explore it to the fullest, although now I'm pretty sure there's no senile old ladies living in this apartment. I somehow doubt she would have a freaking illegal augmentation lab in her living room, although I guess
Access grant.
if she truly had dementia, then maybe she just wouldn't realize that there's a freaking illegal augmentation surgery room in her living room. So that might actually not be, impossible. Hugh Darrow again. About cybernetic limbs. Okay, that isn't like super interesting.
Access granted.
We're talking about consequence here, parents. Go ahead, plop your kids in front of the TV. Let them watch Icarus or let them get lost in their video games. Yeah, they'll be safe in their little...
Yeah, so it was like an illegal augmentation clinic, and I guess they are talking about how they were getting tapped by the police, or maybe by actual corporations, because the corporation would have the incentive of shutting something like this down because it's illegal competition for them.
Bunch of mindless zombies is what you are. I almost envy you. Fucking sad is what it is.
And then access code to the storage, which I imagine is this. So they left plenty of... Oh, there's a straight up praxis kit here. Now, I know that technically I'm stealing from them, but I've been so back and forth on this whole stealing thing that at this point it basically doesn't matter, I think. Like, mostly. I'm not happy about it. I wish I would have been more consistent, but at this point, I guess I'll try to stick to not killing people, and that's as high as I'll go as far as, setting a bar for morality goes, and I'll just, On the other hand, I don't really think they will be returning, and it was illegal in the first place, which I do understand are all, rationalizations, and rather weak ones at that. But oh well, somebody who steals from a thief is still a thief himself. But I wouldn't let the praxis kit go. Like, it's just too good to leave it behind. I am, however, definitely confused by the fact that apparently the old lady is not living here after all.
Access granted.
Any old ladies here? That's like a what's the word? TV program, like a schedule, I guess. Global Report, Cyber Olympian. That's interesting. Do they let augmented people compete in the same category as unaugmented ones? That would be kind of unfair. It's actually already kind of a debate in the current timeline, because there are some disabled athletes using prostheses, especially like runners, who are actually doing so well that they wanted to go from the Paralympics to the actual Olympics, but there has been some controversy about that because as I said, it turns out that in some cases the prosthetics actually might give them an advantage and an edge against the fully abled people. So here was on call. By a UN. Okay, that's weird. So apparently it's like a TV series about Bell Tower being attacked by the UN. So I guess this is like probably like paid propaganda by Bell Tower itself, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. You know, they want to make the private military contractors look like heroes, and the UN forces as villains. Some comedy, game, Hollywood and Vine, the Panchea Project, Augmented Combat Challenge. So I guess it is a separate category, which makes sense. Well, no senile old grandmas here either. I read that already.
Access granted.
They broke any of your stuff, so did somebody break in to this apartment before I did or something? I'm not sure where the occupant is. I doubt they are at work because, first of all, it's the middle of the night, and second of all, there are massive riots all over the city, so that would kind of, you know, interfere with your... Okay, I can't interact with those doors, so maybe there's very clearly like a panel, but I just can't do it. So maybe I actually missed something in that cache. I will, and that's why it doesn't give me the next objective. I will explore all of the buildings in the vicinity. I really like this animation.
Access granted.
What's this place about? It seems it's some investigator's home, because there are like wanted profiles and this is SWAT. This is about the history of Picus. Yeah, it is like it deals with pretty much everything having to do with the media, film, television, video games, advertising, marketing. So whose home is this? Wait. I think I may have been here at some point. I do remember this painting. Veil. No, I don't think I've been here because I would have hacked the computer, right? Okay, that's a very complicated one. But the levels are quite low, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem.
Access granted.
Miss Vale. Oh, so maybe that's like an... I admit it's just a... what's the word? Association that popped into my mind with Vicky Vale, but maybe that's like an investigative journalist's home that would explain the board with the clues and also the ebook on the history of Picus. Yeah, and she receives like legal complaints from the National Security Agency because probably she's writing about, you know, conspiracy theories and whatever. Yeah, the truth about someone. You've got to get off that computer and get yourself a real hobby. And another one of those Nigerian scammer emails.
Access granted.
Some books and whatever. Okay, I will... Okay, read that. So I think I must have left something that I can't go through here. Must have left something in that cache, right? And that's why I can't progress. I've been here, that's the apartment of Raddford. So I guess I have to return. Behold, a literal Deus Ex Machina. Although I guess it's kind of funny. Oh, actually it isn't. Stupid. That's stupid. I had a thought that doesn't really make sense in English. It only makes sense, well, not really in Polish. Like it had to do with like an error that I made translating things in my head, so doesn't matter. Okay, so I guess I'll have to continue searching this and maybe uncover something that I originally missed, but this episode has been more than long enough, so I'm going to save, and that's all for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!